Way before Jesus, lots of cultures had their own powerful myths about gods who died and were reborn. And sometimes those stories have surprising similarities to the Easter story. We can think about ancient Egyptian myths of Osiris, because Osiris was a good king who was murdered, chopped up, but his wife Isis magically brought him back to life. Then there's the touching Sumerian story of Inanna, the queen of heaven and earth. She went down into the underworld, faced death, and after 3 really tough days, she was resurrected and came back to the living world. That 3-day thing is a really interesting parallel that makes you think about the Christian story. The ancient Greeks also had their own versions, like the myth of Persephone. Hades kidnapped her to the underworld, but eventually she was allowed to come back to the world for part of the year, and her return always brought spring and new growth, which is a pretty clear link to the rebirth themes of Easter. In Phrygian mythology even, there was Attis, a son of vegetation whose death and resurrection were celebrated in spring festivals, and that was way before Christianity. And that festival even involved the mourning of his death and the celebration of his return to life. So when you see all these ancient myths about resurrection, it kind of makes you wonder why some people are so quick to dismiss any possible connections to the Christian story. For the people who did believe in these myths, they weren't just stories, they were deep explanations about the cycle of life and death. It was tied to their religion and it was tied to their culture. So to say that the Christian story is totally unique without looking at this bigger picture of human religious history seems a little unreasonable to me.